Hey guys, welcome to another video. I hope you're all keeping safe and well, and in today's video I'm going to continue answering your questions. So a couple of weeks ago I uploaded a post onto the YouTube communities tab asking if you guys had any questions, and I got a lot of questions from you guys. So last week I uploaded a video answering some of those questions, and this is part 2 of answering your questions. Last week's video was only supposed to last about 20 minutes, but it went on for about 40. Today's video I'm going to try and answer the questions as quick as I can, and yeah, hopefully should only last about 20 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to answer the questions in the order they were asked, and we're going to pick up from where we left off from last week. So the first question is from Eleanor Edison, and she says, my theory runs out just after New Year's this year. I was taking lessons and not far off, but now because of the virus it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to do any lessons until next year because of the situation. Do I have to retake my theory test, or I hope they will extend it by 6 months because of the virus? Okay, so this question is about the theory test. So if your theory test is going to expire, it's most likely you will have to do it again, because legally the DVSA are not allowed to extend your date of the theory. So unless there's a change in the law, any of you whose theory is going to expire, as it stands, you will have to do it again. Okay, next question from Rebecca Splekikova. I booked my driving test for 1st of May, they cancelled it, but my theory ends 7th of May. Do you think I'll need to redo my theory test, or will they give me another chance? Just like I answered, as it stands, most likely you'll have to do it again unless they come out with a new law. Next question from Yasmin. When buying a car, what are the main things to look out for so you know it's safe to drive? Okay, again, I'm no big expert on cars, but the main things you look for is, well, what I don't look for is checking the service history, the mileage, and just basically, if you don't know much about cars, take someone along with you who does. And with any deal, normally if it's too good to be true, it normally is. Okay, next question is from Sakshi Devantri. Advice for anyone who is supposed to be doing their practical or theory tests. Thanks for the video in advance. So the advice that I would give is that sooner or later, obviously the lockdown will be over, and when it is over, you're going to make sure you're fully ready, whether it be your practical or your theory. So with the theory, obviously keep revising. With your practical, make notes, go over notes. If you've got any material, watch videos, do whatever, but try not to forget what you've already learned. Okay, next question from JRSTVHD. What gave you the idea to start doing mock tests on YouTube? So obviously my channel is all about helping learners, and for me, I think a lot of people didn't really understand the difference between a serious fault and a normal driving fault, and what causes them to fail the driving test. So pointing out these faults and doing mock tests, and because of the reaction I got from you guys, I know it helps massively. So the idea was, yeah, just to obviously educate you guys as much as I could to help my learners, but obviously it's helping out many of you. So yeah, that was the idea. Next from Nagib. What cars are you looking to buy in the future, both for business or pleasure? To be honest, for pleasure, I'm not really fussed at the moment. For my business, I just normally change my car every 3 to 4 years, and at the moment I'm sticking to Hyundais because I find them reliable. Next question. How many lessons do you suggest a person have before taking their theory test? Okay, how many lessons? You don't really have to have lessons before taking the theory test. Obviously they do go nicely both hand in hand, but it's not essential having lessons to do your theory test. You can start revising for your theory test whenever without having lessons. That one was from Kerry. Right. Next one from Chelsea. When approaching a roundabout, how can you see the lane markings if there is no sign and the markings are only on the floor but cars are covering them? So in that situation, you wouldn't be able to see the markings. Obviously, if there's no actual signs and there's vehicles in front of you that are covering the markings, you won't be able to see the markings until the car in front has moved. And if you're in a situation where you can't see the markings and you're not sure of the lane, if you're in a test, I would ask the examiner. But in general, if you're not on test and you've already passed and you're driving and you work out you're in the wrong lane, it's best to just go the wrong way. Do what's safe in that situation. Don't try and change lanes last minute. Next question from Clubbo02. Best way to prepare for a test outside of the car. Best way to prepare for your driving test is to make sure you have the correct knowledge on every single topic. And you know what I'm going to recommend here? Watching videos, but if you want precise videos on every single topic, the Ultimate Driving course will definitely help. Next question from Henry Shaw. Do you have to indicate when overtaking a cyclist? So overtaking cyclists, other vehicles, all depends on the situation around you. So the most important mirrors, the most important thing is checking your mirrors and assessing what's going on around you. So if you check your mirrors and you know there's no one around at all, that includes pedestrians and other vehicles, other road users, then you don't have to signal if there's no one around. If you feel a signal will benefit, if there's an oncoming vehicle in the distance, pedestrians who might want to cross the road, another vehicle behind you, then yeah, you should signal. Next question from Arjun Vedi. Do you have to change or replace your clutch or other parts often? Also, how much do you pay for your instructor insurance? Okay, so with the clutch, again, it depends on each vehicle, but in my experience, I've had a few cars over the years, and one vehicle reached about 60,000 miles and I had to change it, and others went up to around 90,000 miles. So again, it depends on the vehicle. And the next question from you also was, how much do I pay for my instructor insurance? So my insurance at the moment is just under £500. Again, that depends on how long you've been teaching, your experience, and the area you live in, and obviously the vehicle. But every instructor's insurance will be different. I know some instructors are paying a lot more. Next question from Saeed Mohammed. Okay, one of my mates said, whilst you're going down the hill and it's busy ahead, or you're stopping on signal and it turned red, better to go into neutral, though car is still running, say at 10-20 miles an hour. It will save fuel and is good for your car. My question is it actually fuel effective and good for the car? No. Simple answer, no. So if you're slowing down, if you're at 10-20 miles an hour and you're just putting into neutral, remember, as you slow down and and stopping, you're going to put the clutch down anyway, so that cancels out your gears anyway. It's the same thing. You don't have to put into neutral and take your foot off the clutch. That's not going to make any difference. It's not going to save you fuel. Next question from, can I only say this, Sliza Bogax. Have any of your learners genuinely made you feel scared when driving? When I first started, maybe, but like I mentioned in the last video, I'm hardly ever scared. We might have to be a bit more alert with some learners than others, because they're not that confident or might make a dangerous mistake. But I wouldn't say I'm scared at all. Next question from Tamina B. How should I maintain my practical driving skills as I'm not taking any lessons because of COVID-19? Also, it's so sad because I was pretty much test ready. I don't want to forget my skills. Again, look, I could go on about watching videos and going over your notes, which obviously is going to help you a little bit. But with your practical skills, you won't really lose them. So if you were nearly ready, after 1 or 2 lessons again, they will come back. But just make sure you keep up with the knowledge and don't forget what you've already learned. Next question, again from Tamina B. Tips to understand and be good at roundabouts. Again, that depends on how your instructors taught it you. To explain roundabouts in full, I'm going to need a bit more time, but what you can do is watch some of the videos I've already uploaded, especially where I'm teaching my niece Taz her lesson on roundabouts. So there's a couple of really good videos where she's learning roundabouts as a learner, and they will definitely help. Next one from Jack. Would I fail my test for undue hesitation if I slowed down and went into first gear to turn right into a junction where there was no oncoming traffic and the turn was wide enough for me to take it in second gear? Again, that depends on the situation. If there's a car behind you quite close and you selected gear 1 and slowed the car down quite a bit, then yes, because that car behind you would not be expecting you to slow down as much. But if there's no one around you, then the examiner will take that into consideration and could just mark it as a normal driving fault, not a serious one. But if you keep doing it all the time, then yes, it will turn into a serious driving fault. Next question from Nicholas Hopsey. Okay, how can you avoid rolling slightly back when moving off? Because releasing the clutch too fast may cause stalling. Releasing the clutch too slow or normal often leads to rolling back if the road goes uphill a little bit. So the simple answer to that is just make sure you've got the biting point. If you've got the biting point, the clutch at the biting point, there's no way your car will roll back. So again, watch a good lesson, a good video to watch on that would be when I'm teaching Taz uphill junctions and clutch control. So that should give you a lot more understanding on that. Next question is from Mahmood Tamim. Since the majority of newly manufactured cars are automatic, do you recommend taking automatic driving license instead of normal manual one? Again, it's a personal preference, and for those of you who don't know, if you learn an automatic and pass an automatic, you can only drive an automatic vehicle. But if you pass in a manual, you can drive both automatic and manual. But again, it depends on your situation. So if you know that you're only going to buy automatic cars and be driving only automatic and will never need to drive a manual, then you can learn an automatic. Next question from Vijin. First of all, thank you so much for all the videos. I had my first driving test last month and came across a small polythene garbage bag, probably around 15 to 20 centimeters in size, in the middle of the road. Considering its tiny size, I slowed down and ran over it, but the examiner gave me a serious fault for that and found me saying I should have stopped and get down from the car and move the bag to the roadside. Upon discussing this with my friends, no one, it's a long question, believe this is a serious fault. I really want to know your opinion on this. Also, my training informed me that I'd get an email with details on my driving faults, but I haven't got that yet, even after dropping a mail to DVLA support. Any suggestions? Okay, so if it was just a small garbage bag and you went over it and it didn't cause any danger, then it shouldn't really be a serious fault, unless it was of a decent size and it was quite a hazard. Then maybe you should have just gone around it. But getting out the car and putting it to the side, I don't think the examiner would expect you to do that. Well, they shouldn't do. I've never had that in my experience, any examiner ever say that. I've had people go on test when there's an object in the road, they've just driven around it. Once somebody actually drove over something as well, and it wasn't much of a hazard, but the examiner did pass them, but it just gave them some advice that it would be best to move out of the way. So yeah, personally, if you're describing the situation accurately, then I think it is a bit harsh. And the next, everyone gets an email showing you the faults, or of your marking sheet sent to you after your test. If you haven't got that, you've already emailed the DVSA, you need to just give them a call. Next question from Quincy Bax. Hey Pin, have you ever had an accident while driving with a learner? Best regards. So accident on the move? No, never. When I've been parked up with a learner discussing something, we have been hit in the back a couple of times. So when we've been parked up, so it hasn't been that serious luckily, but yeah, that's the only time I've had an accident. Next question from Drabaskian. God bless you. I just want to thank you for your amazing app. It was really useful. I live most rules of driving because of this app. Thank you very much, Travis. He's saying app. He's on about the ultimate driving course. It's not an app yet. It's just the online videos that you get access to. But we are working on creating it into an app as well. So thanks a lot for that, Travis. Right, last few questions. Okay, next one from Hassan. When turning into a new road, why do you have to check your middle mirror and right? Why not all? Okay, so you can check them all, yeah. If you do, that's fine. But I normally say at least check your centre and right mirror, because once you enter a new road, you're going to speed up, and before you speed up, you want to make sure it's safe to speed up, and so no one's overtaking you. And people or other vehicles will normally overtake you from the right hand side, so that's why I normally say centre and right mirror after entering a new road. And the next question again from Hassan. Which car shall I buy when I pass my test, and which company shall I learn in? Which company? So I think you're asking which company should you learn to drive with. Again, do some research, look out for reviews, ask family and friends for their experience with instructors they've had, and yeah, don't just go for anyone who's the cheapest. Just make sure you do your research and make sure they've got good reviews. And the other question that you also asked was which car shall I buy? Again, whatever's cheapest to insure. Like I mentioned in the last video, small car, probably 1 litre, 1.2 litre, check out the insurance, and yeah, as long as it's affordable. Next question from John McTim. Okay, it's a bit of a rude question, he's having a laugh there, John McTim, so I won't say that. Next question from Betty. Due to this coronavirus situation, is the expiring date for the theory test, what we did, is going to be extended again for the theory? As it stands, no, it won't be extended. And next one from Oscampi. When coming to a stop, should you put your clutch down straight away or gently apply brake first and then put the clutch down? Okay, so whenever you're stopping anywhere, it's always brake first, gently, and as you're slowing down, then put the clutch down. When you're maneuvering or driving extra slow, then you can put the clutch down first and then brake after. Right, let's make these the last 3 questions now. So this one from Jenna McGiven. My instructor taught me to drive by memorising the test routes, no gas when setting off, and with an electric handbrake. After passing my test, I am struggling to move off, scared of hills, find following directions hard. This has lowered my confidence greatly. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. So yeah, that's a typical example of instructors teaching you just to pass a driving test and not ensuring you're actually a really good driver. So yeah, Jenna, all I can say to that is now, like, you can either get some lessons off an instructor and just telling your main weaknesses, say you want to go on hills and all this stuff that you mentioned, practice that. So a couple hours with an instructor, and the other thing, just you've got to practice with a family member and ask them to guide you through these kind of situations which your instructor should have really done. So yeah. Okay, next from Bro Cool. Can you do a burnout? I don't even know what a burnout is. Okay, next question from Olympia Car. What do you think about crash courses before the test? Again, like I mentioned in my last video, I'm not a massive fan of crash courses. I don't really do many myself. The reason for that, because it puts a lot of pressure on the instructor and the learner. Don't get me wrong, it can work for some people. If somebody is adamant they want a crash course, I normally do an assessment first and then see how much they can handle, but I wouldn't recommend doing more than a couple of hours a day, even if you're doing a crash course. So yeah, not a massive fan of crash courses. And let's make this the final question from Queenie. Will you be taking on people after COVID? I need lessons in Bilston. Me, at the moment, I'm not taking on any learners because at the moment I'm training instructors and obviously busy with these mock tests and editing videos weekly as well, which takes up a lot of my time. So, but DGN, our instructors, we've got some really good instructors who will be able to take you on for your driving lessons. So okay, so that's the end of the questions for now. So I think I'll do a part 3 as well. Well, we'll have to get through all of these questions, but I don't want these videos to be too long. Hopefully those questions and answers have helped you guys, and like always, don't forget to like and please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.